your roof. It's the most important protection against nature for your home or your business. That's why I trust the experts at Exterior Home Solutions.
He's Grant Ramey. I'm Rob Lewis. We're here with the Volquest Exterior Home Solutions Fast Break. Granted, it got a little uncomfortable on the way to a win right before Christmas tonight against Tarleton State.
I did not expect with 4 minutes left that Tennessee players would be trying to get the fans involved because it was down to a 6-point game and Tennessee had scored 8 points after halftime or whatever it was over that first 15-minute stretch. So and I was surprised we didn't get angry, ranting Rick Barnes.
No.
I totally expected this game to play out this way, kind of Rick Barnes.
I knew it.
They schedule these games to get these kind of tests before conference play starts. I didn't know Tarleton State was going to be that kind of test or was known to be that physical or that aggressive or whatever they were to slow Tennessee down the way they did. They answered the way they needed to in the final 9 minutes, I guess, of the second half, but the first, I guess maybe the last 5 minutes, but the first 15 minutes of that was pretty brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it got down to 6 points there. I mean, it was 50-44, and, it's a game at halftime. I mean, Tennessee didn't look great, but, I mean, they had a 15-point lead or 14-point lead at the break, and you think it's going to be a ho-hum 20-point win and go home for Christmas.
Right.
But then, like I wrote, this is the game where you don't want there to be a defining moment, but there really was one. It's what you're talking about. There, with about 4 minutes left, Santi makes 2 free throws to put them up by 8 and then draws a charge at half court, immediately after that. And, Tennessee gets it back to double digits, but it was – I don't know that I ever felt like Tennessee was necessarily going to lose, but I thought we might have some drama in the last 4 minutes.
If there were positives, Zakai's playing some of his best basketball the last maybe the last week and a half or so. Santi's played really well the last couple nights. Josiah had 10 and 10 tonight, kind of quietly.
Very
double for him, and he continues to play really well, as consistent as anybody on this roster. The concerning stuff, Dalton Connect has gone missing for 3 straight games. He's not himself. He's got to adjust. He's got to figure out different ways to score it because what he did the first however many games it was, 8 or 9, is not really working the last 3. So there are some positives and there's some concerns too.
The Connect stuff, I don't really know what to make of it, Grant, because we're way past the point where he's just learning to deal with being the focal point of somebody's scout. I mean, he was the focal point of North Carolina's scout, 3 weeks ago, went for 37. So, I mean, that's not it. And I don't, and pretty clearly the head coach, he's not worried about his offense. I mean, that's why he didn't play in the last 7 minutes tonight.
Right. I mean, and he's going to have to find different ways to score, and that's what Rick was talking about after the game tonight. Off of offensive rebounds, off of, not just isolation ball and getting the ball on the perimeter and trying to force something. So he's going to have to make an adjustment there. Less an adjustment to being the focal point of the scouting report and more so just in his game and the way he goes about it and what he's going to do to get his points, I guess.
Yeah, and again, I'm kind of in the mind to burn this game tape. I mean, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I bet, not just Tennessee, but I bet a lot of college basketball teams have one out on the exit the last game before Christmas when you're finally getting ready to get out for 4 or 5 days for the first time since when, August? I guess. So, but I'm with you. My biggest takeaway from not just tonight, but going back to NC State is Zakai, and it's not the numbers and stats, but he played 74 minutes in 2 games, and pretty clearly the governor's been taken off, and he's back, and he looks back.
He's back to being himself. He's shooting it well. He's defending well. He just looks like his old self, and when you watch him play, you don't really have any concerns about his knee, or you're not even really thinking about that anymore. I mean, if he can play the way he did for 38 minutes against NC State, and then come back out here tonight and play pretty well when everybody else is kind of slogging through it. It's a really good sign to see him back to his old self. And with that Christmas break, it feels like it's longer this year than it has been in the past, 11 days between games. And it kind of sets up well because you come back to get Norfolk State on January 2nd before hosting Ole Miss at home to start SEC play on January 6th. So it kind of sets up, I think, to this team's benefit.
I think it's a really nice wrinkle because I'd have to go back and look, but almost always you're coming back and jumping right into SEC play.
Exactly.
Sometimes I think last year it was before New Year's even.
Yes. One year at Texas A&M it was December 27th. I think last year was the 28th or 29th.
Well, I remember you had that just easy little Knoxville, Oxford, Miami commute.
As one does.
As one
Here, let me
does.
turn my lights on. We're talking about Christmas.
But last thing for me, Grant, as we get out the door. And I think Coach maybe got a little miffed at me for asking him not about his rotation, but can they get away with playing just 8 guys? I mean, because he clearly doesn't trust the young kids.
No, and they're going to have to be able to get away with 8 guys, or either that, or Freddie DeLeon, or Cade Phillips, or J.P. Estrella, or whoever the other guys are at the end of the bench are going to have to do something more consistently in practice to earn their minutes, because whatever Freddie's doing right now is not working, because we haven't seen him in a week, and we've barely seen him at all this season. So something's going to change there. Either that, or they're going to have to be fine riding with 8 guys and go with it.
Yeah.
But it's early in the season
and
still.
And the big kids aren't going to play unless there's foul trouble, is what it looks like. I mean, JP Estrella's played 3 minutes in 2 games. Cade didn't play against NC State, gets 2 minutes tonight. So I thought that, we were all talking about how much depth they had in the preseason.
Yes. And here we are, 8-man rotation by December 21st.
Before New Year's, before Christmas, Rick's down to 8 guys. So anyway, I don't know that that's written in stone. I mean, as you said, the coach is pretty good about giving guys opportunities to earn minutes, but he ain't giving anybody any minutes.
And it's a third of the way through the season, so it's not exactly, this isn't the first 3 games of the season. This is a third of the way through the year.
Not at all. So it wasn't pretty, but Tennessee gets by Tarleton State tonight, 65-46. Vols were really good in the last 5 minutes of the second half, and hard to watch the first 15 before that. But, again, Christmas time, that can happen. The most important thing, get the win, be healthy, and get out the door. And he's Grant Ramey. I'm Rob Lewis. This has been the Exterior Home Solutions Fast Break on Volquest.com.